And the NAPA Sim Series is here in Southern California. Welcome to Fontana here, Auto Club Speedway, for what is going to be an amazing race. Here in the NAPA Sim Series, Auto Club Speedway is still alive and well, and these drivers are ready to put on a show at this amazing racetrack. Show why this track deserves to be on the calendar. 80 laps here today of super wide racetrack, 4-5 wide, multi-groove racing. We already saw the Xfinity race have an insane battle for the lead, the win, and some crashes all throughout the race, including on the last lap. That is just what Auto Club has to offer, and now we get to see the veterans, the Cup guys, go at it in today's race. Two Dodges on the front row. Slash and I am an Antioch are two very interesting characters here in this Cup season. Two drivers that have had very different storylines in their career. Well, they are both trying to get their first wins of the season here today at Auto Club. And then you got Discord Bot and Mythical, two championship favorites early on in this season in that second row here. 42 drivers. We also sent two drivers home, so everyone wanted to make this race. But now, Mac, we head to you here. 80 laps today, 42 drivers. We all saw how the Xfinity race went yesterday. How do we think today's race is going to go here in the Cup Series?
I don't think we'll see a last lap big one like we did in that one, but I don't expect much to change in the Xfinity race. It will be an interesting one. We saw a race here last season in which it got very spread out at the end. There were basically no cautions. There's only one DNF, which for the previous season standard, that's insane to have only one DNF. It got spread out, and we had a dump and run for the win. This place will be very entertaining, but it's a matter of how this finish will shape up and where you're at when the finish is shaped up. But because at this place, despite the amount of passing there could be, you have to be in the top three to try and win here in the last laps.
Yeah, we saw in yesterday's race, everyone was ripping boards. That was the way to make passes. There's no grip down on that bottom lane. If you want to make passes, you gotta rip the boards, and very occasionally you can drive it in and make that bottom lane work, but not many times you'll see it work. But these Cup cars are a little bit faster, about a half second to maybe even a second quicker if you run a flyer. So we'll see here if these drivers have a bit more leeway in terms of what lane they can run here on this racetrack. But first, before we figure all that out, we got to go through the starting grid for today's race. In row 1, Slash next to I'm an Antioch is trying to get back into that points lead. Row 2, Discord Bot, the winner last race at Las Vegas. He is next to Mythical. Let's go back to row 3. That is Bot next to Internet. Row 4, Dan and Dylan. And then back to row 5. That is Ty, and that is New.
Let's go to row 6. We've got Garrett and Matthew. Then in row 7, we've got Commander and Anna Kate. Following up in row 8 is Typical and Dexterity is still in that white machine. Row 9, Mike. Good qualifying effort for him. And Mac. Then rounding out our top 20 is going to be Wayside and FXN.
Let's go back to row 11. Two drivers that have put up some great runs this season. That is Peyton and SM. Back to row 12, Stu and Jacob. Row 13, Montana, and a bit deeper in the field, but is starting to wake up. Cam's been having some good runs lately. Back to row 14, Kermit and Meme. And in row 15, Riley Davis Jr. and Sean.
Then in row 16, we got JJO and Santa. Row 17, Doug and Nacho. Row 18 is Junior and Jack. Row 19, Chasey Man and Cole making his first start of the season. Row 20, we've got Data also making his first Cup start of the year, and Sup NASCAR. And rounding out our field will be Isolated and Avery.
Cole making his first start of the year in the 28, and then you also have Data making his first start of the season. And our two DNQs, sadly, we had to send two drivers home. The 31 of NASCAR Sim and the 53 of Breck Blue did not make today's race. But they will have more chances as the season goes on. But we are ready to go here at Auto Club. 80 laps, it should be a good one. Let's fire the engines. The engines have been fired. We are ready to go in Southern California. The field is rolling here. And it is Slash and I'm an Antioter that will lead this field to the green flag here in today's race. It's going to be a good one here. And right from the get-go, the second these drivers hit the restart zone, they're going to fan out and make passes. All these drivers right away know that they got to get to the front, because it's a little bit hard to pass this racetrack, especially if you don't have a good handling race car. Just as I said in the Xfinity race, handling and skill is the main priority here if you want to have a good run today. Let's see who's going to be able to conquer this track today. 80 laps. We are ready to go. Into the tri-oval. Green flag is underway. Let's go racing. Slash and I'm an Antioter lead the field in green.
As we look into turn one here, Discord bot immediately to the inside. Both bots actually immediately to the inside. No, I'm an Antioter, huge run. Sorry to that. I'm an Antioter, huge run on the outside. Couldn't get it done. Slash will shut the door for the time being. But that was such a quick fanning out for I'm an Antioter. Another one at the front getting pushed by that number 44 machine of Mythical. Mythical now maybe looking to the inside of the 48 I'm an Antioter. Can't get it to be a fanning out 4x4, but 5 wide mid-pack. I just saw there. This track has so many lanes where you can do that. Come around the year to finish the first lap. Slash takes on the first lap of the day as I'm an Antioter looks to his inside.
Just like the Xfinity race. In every restart in that race, they fan out right away. Look at Dan. Power move will get by bot. Watch out for Dan today. And a lot of this field is familiar with that scheme, and that is a very, very, very popular scheme here around the Napa Garage because of how successful he's been in that scheme. And that is the same chassis that he was so dominant in all of last season. They reworked it. How about Ivan Antioter drove it in? He's going to take the lead and will not be able to clear Mythical, but does clear Slash, who was our leader the last lap by. Ivan Antioter gets control of this lap, but can now Mythical drive it in and take it?
He has it for now, but here comes the run on the outside. He might lose it right here. 3 wide for the lead. Slash wants to split the middle. Side by side down the back straightaway. Mythical's out of the battle now. Still side by side on the back straightaway here. We get into turn 3. Can Slash get it? Ryman Antioter get hold. Ryman Antioter's got some help. He's got his teammate Internet coming in from behind. Ryman Antioter, big run. He's cleared for the lead. And now Mythical to the inside. Oh my! Internet! He's gonna get by both of them.
How about Internet moving up to second? Great start for the teammates for Shemensky West. Ivan Antioter and Internet. They're 1-2 early. Dan's moving forward quickly already, looking up into that top 5. While Mythical and Slash slightly drift back, but they hang on for now. Dan's going to get a big run, and he is already up to 3rd. Flying here is behind him. Everyone's trying to get figured out. I see Matthews started around the top 10. He is drifting back early. Ty as well is dropping back. Montana's moving forward a little bit. Mac around the same spot. Cam also moving forward. He started deep in the field, also trying to move forward. Everyone trying to find positioning here early, as it is now only lap 5. There is a lot of racing to go, but you want to get control early on here, especially so you could run the lane that you prefer, which is that top lane. If you're in a mix of 3 and 4 wide, you might be stuck on that bottom lane. You want to get to the lane that is preferred for you. Look at this battle for the lead up here.
Yeah, Ivan Antioter kind of looks like he had a horrible turn, too. He's got everyone stacked up. Now everyone's going to look round the outside of him, potentially. Oh, Internet's slow. And now Dan's going to go to his inside, try and get by him. I don't think he can. Everyone behind him, everyone behind Ivan Antioter, guys are running on him. Dan to the inside. He's got a run down there. Potentially maybe going for the lead. Ivan Antioter's going to hold it. Now it's going to stall out. He's wide for second. Garrett maybe trying to shoot the middle now.
Ivan Antioter drives it in. Oh my goodness, the Internet drives it in deeper, same as Dan. What a battle for the lead, but Dan just can't hold down that bottom lane. Not much grip. Garrett's now trying to get there. Slash still in the mix. 6 laps in, and no one wants to lead this race. It looks like everyone's cycling for positions here. Garrett will now try and drive it in, but Ivan Antioter so good at that middle lane. Hanging on for now, and for a driver that just lost the points lead and desperately wants to get it back. A way to do that right now is to just be in control early on, lead some laps, get just a bonus point for leading laps, and so try and set yourself up here, but still only lap 7. There are some hungry drivers behind him. Internet, his teammate, might get back up to second. He should with that run off the exit.
Yeah, and yep, I'm an Antioch still holding Internet kind of now, trying to maybe play some defense here for this 48 machine. And maybe see if I'm an Antioch can start building a gap here. Garrett and Dan both trying to maybe look to the inside of that 36 machine. That's starting to string out here, it looks like. Maybe trying to call that gap here as we're now mainly in the 2x2, some single files, maybe a little bit of 3 wide still. As the field tries to figure it out. Got a battle here for 8th through 10th or so.
Ooh, Bot with the drive in there. Doesn't really work. Dylan's hanging on. How about Anike moving forward early? SM there's Montana. Commander kind of drifting back slightly. Mythical is as well. Was going for the lead at the beginning of the race, but just stuck on that bottom. Does not seem to have the car to hold in that bottom lane. Anike tries to get underneath Mythical. What a mess here. How about Cam? He is a rocket ship. Started all the way back almost in the 30s. And he just passed like 4 cars in one lap. Cam is flying up into the 8th position in just 9 laps. Cam is flying.
Yeah, and lots of battling can't help you out here. As these guys still battle heavily for these, you know, around back end top 10 to top 15 positions. Montana maybe trying to knock on the door of the top 10 now.
Montana's having a great start to this one. Also someone that qualified a bit deeper in the field, but mixing up around a bunch of drivers that you expect to be good in this race and all season long. Montana's hanging with the best of the best right now. There's SM, our 500 winner. He has just been unreal this season. SM having a career resurgence here. What a great start for him. He's looking like the Sunbelt car to beat this season, but just can't get all the way up to the front where this battle continues to lurk. Internet got there, but then seemed to lose it off exit. Internet, or I'm an Antioch, or packed some air on him, made him lose just a little bit of ground, and now Discord Bot with a lot of redemption off of his win last week in the Las Vegas race will slide up and clear Internet.
Maybe trying to go for consecutive wins for, I believe, the third time in his career. And this, if Discord Bot wins, it would just add to an insane resume you just don't ever see with many NAPA drivers. As here comes a huge run on I'm an Antioch. He's going to try to get around to the outside of him. I'm an Antioch, I think, blocked it off.
Not
he
enough.
Tried to block it for as long as he could, but he couldn't. And now here comes all of Shermansky West into the battle.
Look at Internet 3 wide through the middle. What a power move. Internet out of nowhere. I haven't seen that type of drive in a while from Internet. What a job he did. We'll get a little bit of a push from team owner and teammate Dylan. Won't give him the lap. Let Discord Bot steals it, but this is a hometown race for this entire Shermansky West organization and Montana's team, Shermansky Star, the affiliate to Shermansky West. This is a hometown track. Everyone is here. This is one of the few team headquarters in California. And, well, they are showing off today here. All 3 of them were in the top 5 just a little bit ago, but now Discord Bot and Garrett are trying to take over, but Dylan hanging on. And, man, Internet had the lead for a second, but is now trapped 3 wide middle. It's quick, so quickly how things can change here at Auto Club in just a few seconds. And now Discord Bot and Garrett 1-2.
Yeah, and as we said, and I was saying, Discord Bot looking to potentially continue an insane resume. A win here would mark his 11th win on an 11th different track. He has still not repeated on any track he's ran on. A pure all-around talent. He can beat you anywhere, and that's what makes a driver like this so dangerous, because you don't know where he's gonna win. He can win anywhere, and he will put up multi-win seasons, as we have seen in the previous 3 seasons. He's had at least 3 wins in each.
Yeah, it's really early in this race, just 14 laps in before Discord about to take the lead this early. He is showing what kind of speed this car has. But we have seen in most races this season, the winner doesn't really really take over till kind of the final third of the race. So there's going to be probably a lot more drivers that maybe put themselves up here, but with how wide of a racetrack this is, it can get very spread out. Garrett's fighting for it. Just barely gave enough room to where they didn't sideswipe each other. And I think that's the reason why Garrett's not going to be able to take that lead there. He was cautious, only 14, now 15 laps in. Didn't want to risk wrecking them both, but he showed Discord by, hey, I'm there, and I'm still looking for my first win. Multiple times this season, Garrett's been there, but hasn't been able to close the deal. He wants to take the lead early, but here comes Dylan. Family, friends, everyone in attendance to watch Dylan race at this track every season. And he's showing off with also a hometown sponsor. Cam is just flying. He's up to 4th.
Yeah, and an insane drive for Cam. He had a dominant that he couldn't finish out, and he's looking for his first win of the season, and that would be big. He had a kind of slow start to the season, and he's now really starting to ramp it up here on this West Coast swing.
Ty looking through wide middle, possibly under Dan and SM. Typical trying to clear these two. And behind this group, you see Commander Wayside. They're both trying to move forward. They haven't seen the top 10 yet today. Two drivers that you probably expect to do well here today. But yeah, Dylan has cleared for 2nd, Garrett 3rd, Cam 4th / in 5th. As, I mean, early on in this race, so we do a quick scan here throughout most of this field, you just get to see that despite this being 16 laps in, you still got a majority of the field still kind of within draft of the front of the pack here, and even back here, 3 and 4 wide racing back here. I mean, everywhere you look, there's racing. Awful start for FXN. It just feels like that's just been the story for him all season long, is awful starts. Running back in 29th, FXN might be hitting that sophomore slump.
Yep. Yeah, FXN came out the game with insane consistency and done terrible this season for his standards, as Dylan, I think, maybe starting to run down Discord bot some. It's gonna be it's not very easy here to establish a big lead. You easily dominate the race, but you're never gonna have a big lead while doing so. But now Dylan actually molded is battling with Garrett and Cam will clear that 51 machine. That 51's gonna get trained by a couple cars.
Slash is still hanging in the mix, but Discard Bot just already racking up some left sled. Just in control here, but for also what's been the storyline pretty much all season at every track is you get a lead, but no one has truly been able to run away and just get up to a 2, 3, 4 second lead completely on their own. We saw Dan and Commander at Texas kind of take over, but it was 2 drivers, not 1. We haven't seen 1 driver completely just take over, and I understand it's early, but everyone has been able to keep up with each other early on this season, but we'll see how this race continues to go, especially now that Cam has moved up in the 3rd. You should watch out for that 15 car, because he is on a roll right now, and usually when drivers begin to get kind of right to that front of the field is when they kind of begin to stall out, but he has kept moving, and we'll see if that stalemate happens now, but now on lap 20 it should be. Cam has still been moving forward. Yeah, it is lap 20, so Cam, only 20 laps in, has gained around, 25 positions? What a great start for him. Dylan's trying to get to the inside, but just doesn't have it.
Yeah, we actually did see Sherminsky West have a speed here last season. Internet swept both stages in the Auto Club race here last season. Did not close out the deal or even a top 10 in that race. So we're going to maybe see if maybe that speed from last season carry over. But we're going to see. There are no stages anymore. So we're going to see if they carry that speed throughout the whole race and maybe can pick up their first win since Charlotte of last season, all the way back in race 5.
Yeah, it has been rough. Very rough for some drivers in the Sherminsky West camp, but either way, Internet's a winner. He makes the playoffs, which is definitely a good resume, but definitely team owner Dylan, who's now trying to get the lead. Discord blocks, looking for a bit more consistency, and this season has been I remember Internet had an issue with Texas, But most races, internet's right up there in the top 10 or at least the top 15, just being around and being a driver that we can bring up in this broadcast. And I mean, he almost got the lead early on in this race and still hanging on in the top 10. Got a new sponsor, Lufin, that's going to come on for a good portion of the season. So, got the support, just needs to have some more consistent runs. And internet's up there in the points right now, so he has definitely proved that he's got the speed to get it down. Garrett might be in the wall back here. My bad, go ahead.
He is. But Dylan, he's been searching for a win. He has not won since season 4, I'm pretty sure, at in the Cup Series. At least he has not won since season 4 at Richmond. And he still had a lot of consistency, but even that collapsed after his suspension last season after Martinsville. He had an atrocious post-suspension stretch where he was not a competitive at all, and eventually free-falled out of the playoffs, eliminated after getting involved in a very early wreck in Daytona. Dylan has kind of just been trying to search back for his form for quite a while now, and I think a win at his hometown track would be instrumental in doing that. As we have a big battle here, I am an anti-hero, terrible NG2, and that might allow Ty, Aniket, and Doug to get around them.
And Doug's moving forward up into the top 20. Mythical and I am an Antidote have been in free fall mode since this race began. Neither of them seem to have a really good handling of their car, at least when not in clean air. When I'm an Antidote had clean air, he was able to take control for a little bit, but it's finally beginning to fall back now. This is right on the outskirts of that top 20. Yeah, this is around, what is it, 13th to 18th, so all right around there. There's some multiple feel-good stories here in this group, though. You look at Aniket, Doug, and Montana. 3 drivers that have had a bit of success, especially Aniket, but just want some more, especially for Doug and Montana. This is a good way to start this race. We'll see if they can finish the deal, but right now, early on, doing well. And I mean, Mike, and how about Jack in the 72? Just want to give him a quick little shout out real quick after his 12th place run in Xfinity. And I mean, hey, I wasn't going to give him much props in this race, but he's up to 24th. He might have found a slight little gift in Auto Club, moving forward just a little bit. This is one of the lower teams Rogers Racing, especially the 72 car. The 27 is a lot better than the 72 car. But Jack is making it work. Oh, paid into the wall. That might be the second car that's gone into the wall. Gotta be careful right there if you're new and Riley Davis Jr. running up on a slower car. Peyton just trying to rip the boards, but ripped it just a little bit too much. Ended up getting into the wall, but it seems to be alright. Keeps going, but Discord bot just running away.
Doug, this time his home is just a few miles away from here in Los Angeles, but he is the by far oldest driver in the field without a win in his career. He does have a truck win in Atlanta, but he does not have a single cup win. And other than other than not running season 2, he has ran every single season in the Cup Series. And you're just wondering when or even if he'll get that first win. But still a solid effort right now today in the top 20.
Yeah, I'm sure you someone also wants to show out for family and friends, and doing that right now here in the top 15. Just having a go, and Aniket's coming off of a great run at Phoenix a few weeks ago, came up with the top 10. I think Aniket was decent in Vegas as well. I remember she was caught up in a wreck. But Aniket's been kind of the main story for Alberta this season, as well as kind of Matthew and Peyton. I mean, you kind of look at all 3 of them, but what I mean by Aniket is, the driver that kind of was a rookie, had a bit of struggles, moved over to this 50 car, which is definitely, in my opinion, better than the 62, and has already shown more success. And I mean, all 4 drivers, maybe other than Jacob, have all shown improvements this season. And Alberta Motorsports, I would watch out for them here mid-portion of the season. If they get going, it could be scary. And here's Peyton and Matthew right now. They've both definitely have fallen, I will say, back to 22nd and 23rd. They are definitely not having the race that they want to early on. But last season, if you told me these 2 drivers were 22 and 23rd, that'd actually be classified as a decent run for these guys. So you know what? Early on in the season, you take what you can get and just try and build on it as the season goes on and just try and get more successful.
Yeah, Yeah, and also one that maybe would have repeated last season, where Alberto last season, they came firing out of the gates. I'm pretty sure Bug was leading points at one point. He was leading points for a couple races, I think, or within that top 5 range in points. But then after a disastrous, basically quadruple DNF race at Dover, Bug finished that race, but he finished that race with 136 laps down, and having to have a sub driver run the second stint of that race. After that race, they collapsed, and as we mentioned, after that, 23rd, 22nd was a good run for them most of the remaining season. And right now, they look like they have upgraded beyond that, and they might be able to see results up throughout the season, which would be big.
Maybe, just maybe, very slowly gaining on Avery and Cole. Those are pretty much the only 2 left cars within any vicinity of anyone right now. Most of the field's been able to kind of keep up with everyone. Got trouble! Ty is into the wall with Slash, our pole sitter, right in front of multiple cars. And these are 2 drivers that started quite decently in the field and were also right around that top 10, top 15 range. Matthew Kerman and others try and get by, and we will not have to deal with left traffic. Our first caution is out, and for Ty, ever since his DNF at Daytona, has been ultra consistent, and even Slash has picked it up the last few weeks, but both drivers caught up in an accident in turn 3 and 4. We'll see if it's any bit similar to the wrecks we saw yesterday in Xfinity, where drivers just seemed to kind of drive in a bit too hard and turn the other guy. We'll see what happened. Let's check out a replay.
Let's take a look at what happens here. As we're entering turn 3, Slash tries to get around the outside on Ty. Ty throws up the block. Slash gets the run of momentum and runs into the 56. Both of them hard hits into the wall. I don't think it should take them out of the race, but they will definitely be out of contention for where they were running, which was in the top 20. They'll definitely be out of contention for sure of a top 20.
They had 2 drivers that started the race well, but it's going to be an uphill climb from here. Here's the turn 3 and 4 camera. There are the leaders going by and coming at you full speed. Right there, a little shot to the front end of Slash's car from the impact of time. Only about 35 laps in. Still got a lot of racing left. Let's get back to the restart here at Auto Club. Double filed up here and ready to restart here at Auto Club. It's going to be lap 36 when we hit the line. Ty and Slash still out here on the racetrack. We saw in the Xfinity Series race, the high side was able to get going on the restart, probably just because more grip. We will see if that happens again with Dylan on the outside, but Discord bought the control car here for this restart. Let's see how things go. Discord bot Dylan 1-2 as we head back to the green. Dan Motorsports drivers in row 2. We're back underway. Dylan might have gotten the edge at the line. Dan, though, will be looking 3 wide. Not been able to actually take the lead yet in today's race. Can Dan do that now? We will see. Discord bot actually will be able to drive it in and keep the lead from Dylan. Won't let him clear. And it looks like he'll stay ahead of Dan as well.
Yeah, Dan tried to go an aggressive maneuver with 3 wide move, and it just did not work, but it was worth the gamble, and now he's going to drop 4 wide almost for P2.
Look at Garrett! Oh my
goodness. Run. Oh! That could have ended real badly here. As look at the scramble for positions afterwards. Whoa, 4x4.
Garrett just blocked the entire racetrack. He just did a very aggressive dive bomb. Shades of earlier season aggressiveness from a lot of this field that we've seen. But in this new generation, we've seen slightly less aggression. But Garrett showed that it still exists in NAPA Sim Series. He threw it like 5 wide in 3 and 4. He cleared about 5 cars and just parked it on him. Just simply parked it on the field. And I mean, it worked. He gained all the spots, but now he has to keep those spots with a hungry pack behind him. Look at Anakin up the middle. Commander's moving forward. There's Wayside. Max entering the picture. Jack, Dexterity. bunch of drivers here now trying to move forward on this restart, while others like Mythical and Commander on the bottom are just trying to hold their position. It looks like Dylan has retaken the lead. Yes, he has, and I'm sure there's a lot of cheering going on in the crowd. Hometown kid here, but Garrett now trying to take the lead.
Garrett has not won since Garrett has not won since Darlington last season. He scraped his way into the Final Four with a hellacious time last time. And obviously looking for his first win of the season. He's had a couple opportunities and he's been unable to capitalize. So looking to maybe capitalize here for his first win of the season. Cam was making a move on third, and look at Jack and Dexterity battling. We saw a lot of battling here in the mid-pack. Matthew got pretty high up in the pack very early. He seems to be already dropping pretty majorly.
I'm not sure what's going on with Jack at Auto Club, but he seems to know what he's doing here at this racetrack. Seems to have quite a bit of speed here. A little bit further back here, they're just all over the place. New having an awful start to his race after shining in Vegas. Not a good start here, but Jack seemed to have found something here at Auto Club. Is Jack about to go? What the hell? Cam's in the lead. He was in 4th place. Cam was just in 4th place when we last panned him. Now Cam's the leader. The rocket ship out of this race car. I'm sorry, Jack. We'll come back to you in a second. But Cam has suddenly jumped to the lead. Here comes Garrett. Here comes Dan. Dylan's still there. And now Garrett drives in, and everyone wants the lead. We've had like 4 lead changes in the past few laps. And now Garrett's in control.
This one dropped all the way to 7-2 average. Complete nowhere.
Yeah, Dan now trying to take second. These two drivers, Dan and Cam, have been unbelievable this season. Of course, their teammates, you expect them to be good, but Cam is really putting it on this season. I mean, for any doubts that he wouldn't be able to keep up with Dan, I mean, he's proven them wrong right now, especially after Phoenix, and also had a great run in Vegas. This West Coast stretch just seems to be really good for Cam, and I was talking about it a little bit earlier, but now it's actually happened. Jack has just passed Mythical on track. Welcome to the NAPA Sim Series. This is unbelievable what we're seeing so far at Auto Club. Drivers all over the place. I mean, you can just look. This is almost the entire field other than the 28 of Cole that are still right up in the draft, everyone. Now Dan will try to take the lead, but Garrett actually drives it in and keeps it. What a nice shot from Garrett. And now here comes Bot moving up in the 3rd. New players.
Yep, new players are always a thing that can happen with these restarts, and that's what tends to happen anytime we get a restart. Some new players will come into effect, and Dan now to the inside of Garrett, trying to look for the lead. Tried the outside, now trying the inside here. Cross the line, Garrett will definitely hold the lead. I don't know if Dan will have a move here in the turn 1. No, he will not. He definitely doesn't have a move. Garrett is clear. Bot in the 3rd, he's catching up. The rest of these guys are starting to catch up too.
Oh, Bot absolutely sends it in. We've seen multiple drivers hit the wall rate today. Of course, I talked about the pre-race, how the Cup cars are usually and supposed to be faster than the other 2 series, and it's no different today. Dan with an aggressive block. Who's surprised there? But Bot will actually still drive it in up top. Can he get there? We've seen an inside hold decently in this run. Looks like Bot is gonna have a little bit of a run here to try and get up to Garrett. Will get by Dan. 5-car breakaway here at the front of the field. Bot had a dismal day in Vegas. Trying to rebound today at Auto Club, and he is right there in the mix. And Garrett still looking for his first win of the season. He's had multiple chances. Oh, right now, he's looking really good, as Dylan has faded back after leading a few laps just a little bit ago.
Battle for the lead is the most important thing. We have a 5-way battle for the lead side by side, too. Whoa!
Oh,
whoa.
Contact between teammates.
And Bot almost got hooked at the end.
Oh my goodness. I mean, these drivers are so aggressive. They just want the lead. They know how important it is to be the lead, because once you're that leader, you can just run that top lane and be in control. Cam drives it in. Oh my goodness, he might not be the fastest car, but he might have the best handling cars. Garrett struggled off exit. As just unbelievable. Is someone in the wall back there? I don't think so. I thought I saw someone in the wall, but I think we are good. Cam now drives it up top, trying to get back to the lead. He got a left lid earlier prior to the first caution, but then lost it right away. Now, trying to get it back in. Looks like he will. All 5 of these drivers refuse to give up the lead, and they just go and get it right back as it looks like Nacho might have been the wall. Front end damage on him. We'll check up on that in a second. Oh, wow, there's been some contact back here. Ty, it looks like maybe also he's off the pace. Damage in the back for multiple drivers. Nacho making his second start of the season. That's the car that he's going to primarily use for most races, so you want to keep that car fresh. But a little bit of damage there for him. Cam now in front. Discord bot trying to take it back. He might be able to get to the outside of Cam. He just might be able to get there. Here he comes. No one wants to give it up.
Man, just squeezed away on the outside. We got Brett out pretty quickly, much quicker than the first run in my opinion. But now Discord ball on the outside of Cam. Great place to take the lead. And he's got it. He'll have him cleared basically into turn 2, I believe. Off of turn 2. Yes, he will. And now Bot looking to his outside as well. Dan trying to support his teammate. No shocker, we're seeing teammate politics get played here. Never mind, Dan's going to go for it all. He's going to go for a 2-for-1 possibly. But Bot's going to get shuffled out as a result of that.
Yeah, Dan's going to make any move that he thinks is right. And, well, it actually worked out for Cam more than himself, Dan. He's actually going to drop back to maybe 5th. I mean, it's kind of a game because you see drivers send it in on the bottom and it works. But then other times you see drivers send it on the bottom and you lose 3 or 4 spots. It's like, man, is it worth it? So many drivers go for it, and I will say, more times than not, shockingly enough, it actually works. More times than I thought. It actually works out quite a bit, so good for them. But if you want to have a chance in this race, you definitely got to be able to make both lanes work. And while we've seen the bottom work, not many drivers have actually been able to perfect it, so it's been a lot of the same drivers. Garrett's been able to make it work, same as Discord.
And we kind of just now have this breakaway sort of. I do see, I think, Mythical has passed I am an Anteater for 10th, apparently. I'm not sure if that's the actual case. Yes, he has way past it. But, yeah. And trying to slowly see Mac and Payne have made their way to 11th and 12th. My bad, trying to run down the 48 I'm an Anteater, maybe get into the top 10. You see things starting to simmer down now. We're seeing starting to file out, honestly, even mainly the single file.
Yeah, Discord bot has about a little bit over a half of a second lead. We'll watch the ticker this lap, see what happens there. There's New and Riley Davis Jr. Oh, wow, that ticker, that gap is definitely closed. So it seems Discord bot might have had a bad corner, maybe ran the bottom. I mean, drivers just all over the racetrack. Just wherever you go, there's a side-by-side battle somewhere. How about Anakate getting by Payton? Moves her back up in the 13th. Mac has moved up to 12th. Trying to have a rebound day after an accident in the Xfinity race. But you can see everyone here. Everyone kind of running similar lines. But then, look at Ivan Antoder and Mac. They're running that top lane. Seems like everyone at the front, maybe even slightly more conservative. Well, the guys a bit more near the back, they're running that high line. They want to get right back up to the leaders. I mean, just, it's one of the few racetracks that actually see constant multi-groove racing. You see so many drivers so fixated on that bottom lane because at 90% of racetracks, that's the lane to go. And then so many drivers are so scared to run the top, but at this racetrack, it's actually the opposite. More drivers want to run the top, and this is some of the most multi-groove racing you will see all season long, especially with how wide this racetrack is. And Discord bot will make it work. Caution's out. Oh, big crash. Riley Davis Jr. in the 73 down the back straightaway. Oh, Nacho. Heavy damage parked on the racetrack. As we come back to the line, we've had a big crash on the back straightaway. Slash might be in it in the 39 as well. 2 accidents possibly. Of that 39 car. Doug in the 08. That sucks for him. Was having such a good run. He's drifted back slightly, but a big crash there on the back straightaway. Not even sure who started and how many cars are in it. Discord bot the leader. Cam will be in second with the chance to prevail on the restart. Well, first we got to figure out how this started.
Let's take a look at what happens here. Riley Davis Jr. to 1 and 2. Doug slides in the track back corner. Riley Davis Jr. absolutely gasses it in and runs into the 08. Big time rookie mistake here. And as Riley Davis Jr. tries to get it back going right here, Nacho tries to speed by it, runs into the back of the 73, and that 95 is killed, and so is the 73, and those two are likely DNFs. And for Doug, a potentially top 20 day is more than likely ruined.
Here is the rear shot from Doug. Riley Davis Jr. with the rookie error. One more shot here, bam. Riley Davis Jr. doesn't have a whole lot of experience at this racetrack. First time here in Cup. Wasn't having the greatest day, but was getting some well-known experience for some of the tracks like Michigan and Chicagoland that we'll go to this season, but that wasn't a good look for the rookie. Not a good look. Cautioned out for the second time. We will re-rack him once again. Real quickly here. Earlier, before Nacho's inevitable demise about 20 laps later, Isolated just slides up in the tie. And poor Nacho, saved his tie, just did not expect that. Damaged both of their cars. Isolated has had a rough going this weekend. Just slid up a little bit too much. Now we'll get back to the restart. Relatively normal top 10. Earlier in the race we had a lot of crazy stuff going on. As now we got Mac and SM there, 12th and 14th there. Some of the Sunbelt guys are moving forward. Coming back to the restart zone, we had a few guys come down pit road. Green flag's back in the air, and a great start for Cam. Even Dan, he might take second as well. I think Discord might have spun the tires a little bit. That bottom lane just is not.
I think Dan's looking for the lead here in the turn 1. Don't look too far yet. Yes, he's looking for it, but he's not gonna get it.
And
wait, he might get it. Never mind, he might get it here in the turn 2. Side by side, the two damn Motorsports cars, but it's not going to work out. It looks like Discobot's now going to get the outside of the 9 and 17, and most likely clear him in the 3 and 4.
I mean, man, if you told me at this point of the race, Dan has not seen the lead yet, I would have thought you were crazy. Dan is just one of those drivers that you would automatically expect, especially in this car, to just go and take it, but hasn't been able to get it yet today. But of course the Dan way is wait till the very end and then try and get it. Still has a lot of time to go, and I mean, so does all these guys. Middle of the pack's best. Look at Mike absolutely driving in on Mac and Kermit. Mac, I think, recognized that Mike was sitting in. I think Mac actually gassed it up a little bit there. Just did not want to make contact. Mike has had a solid season as 52, running up in the top 20 and just trying to keep it going. Oh, Vixterity. Oh, huge check up here. Contact everywhere. Matthew gets in the junior. Jacob goes down the racetrack to avoid. And poor Jack got checked up from that Vixterity, who has had a rough season, I would say. Trying to figure it out and got really tight. 3-4. And Matthew made an unbelievable save after contact with Junior. And back here is just an absolute mess. Everyone just continuing to just go wild here. And still got over 20 laps to go in what has been, felt like an eternity for some of these drivers already.
As Dylan making his way back into the top 5 there. Some guys kind of knocking the top 10 as well. But that boat kind of already sailing as guys like Wayside have already started kind of pulling away. We've already starting to seem like every time on these restarts, the field starts spreading out quicker and quicker. So we're already starting to see things spread out here within about 5 laps of the restart. Dan looking for second now on the 55 at Discord bot. Typical in that battle as well. And it looks like Typical kind of working in that 6 to 8 range. As a fly by the field here, everyone's still figuring out, looking back to figure it out.
Caution's out again. Trouble again, and maybe the second half of the pack on the back straightaway. And it's up. NASCAR is involved here. Back of the pack. Something has gone wrong. Sup NASCAR's in it for what has been such a consistent start to his year in both Xfinity and Cup. Got in a wreck at Vegas last week at Xfinity, and this might be his first wreck in the Cup Series this season. Something happened in the back that seemed to also involve Isolated and Cole in the 28. But just like that, we're back under caution. Now Discord Bot is in second here. Cam the leader. Let's head back to the replays.
Let's give a look at what happened here in the back of the field. You see coming into view, Isolate has a terrible exit at turn 2. And Sup NASCAR looks like he goes for a move, maybe tries to get behind the 00 FXN, gets crunched. FXN hooks the 98 as a result. Avery gets a big piece of that. Cole caught up in it. Pretty bad day to be a bat marker, it seems, as these guys keep getting caught up in incidents. And that may have another car taken out, but we will see. FXN also in it. He's had a horrible day.
Yeah, same as Slash. Race from hell.
Yeah. Yep, and that is just something else to add onto the pile.
Here is Slash's perspective from the onboard. Isolated just got spun down the racetrack. Not really any damage for him, but for Sup NASCAR, Avery, and Cole, slightly different story. Let's rack them up again. Let's see if we can survive a restart. Doubling them up once again here. That was caution number, what was that, 4? So we have had some issues today. Caution 3, caution 4. Auto Club has been a destructive weekend here. Not many DNFs though. We've only taken out 3 guys here. We'll see if any more are done before the day is complete. But here, we're being going back green here. The 18 to go with the line, and Cam will actually get the jump for once. But now has to do what seems like an impossible task of hanging on in the 1 and 2. Dan will drive it in, and that might help Cam, but Discord Bot, what a drive! He does not want to be denied. Oh, but gets a little bit tight off exit. 3 wide for the lead. Now down the 2 as Cam stays in tow with Discord Bot.
Dan has tried to maneuver going 3 wide for the lead almost every single restart, and it's just not worked. But I mean, A for effort, A for trying. And we have a ton of action. Oh, that almost was a huge wreck. Mythical and Dylan slid way up the track. All of the SN and typical. Discord Bot has the lead back. And Garrett in tow. And we are almost 4 wide. We actually are going to be potentially 4 wide here for 5th. No, we are not. They keep it clean. But man, these restarts have been insane.
I mean, great job for Discord Bot from getting that lead back on the high side after Cam had a good jump. Now just trying to keep it. Could Discord Bot go back to back? Could Discord Bot get another win on a new track? We talked about it slightly a little bit early in the race, but it was too early to think about the possibility. But he's been up front all race long and just had control. But a lot of drivers up here. How about SM? Move it now. Look at that run. Moves all the way into the top 5. SM is having a career resurgence, and up into the top 5 is, looks like Isolated's coming back out on the racetrack. Might have had some extra repairs after damage from the last accident. Gonna merge on that bottom lane. You should get out of the way, but man, if you're the leaders, you don't want to see a car that's off the pace get in your way. We haven't actually dealt with left traffic practically at all today. Chasey, man, welcome to the front. We haven't talked about him really at all today. Slides up in front of Dylan, or tries to. Looks like Isolated kind of went to that middle lane. He slid up a little bit too much, but he tried to give the leaders and the guys up in this top 10 some room. Gives Kerman and the Antioter a chance. But Isolated, now in the thick of things, despite being left down. We'll see how long he lasts. Here comes Internet.
Internet maybe looking to strike back here. He's going around the outside of Garrett for P2 potentially here in the 3 and 4. Let's see if he gets the move done. He is ahead of Garrett here, entering turn 3. Garrett strikes back. He will hold the spot potentially. Yes, he will. And SM now at the 3rd.
Garrett's done that multiple times, driving in on that bottom lane and keep it. I mean, that's a good race car to be able to do that. Very few are able to do it in Xfinity, and very few have been able to do it in Cup. Garrett is one of them. if we come down to a battle late in this race where someone like Garrett has to make a move like that, I would feel pretty comfortable in his odds. But he's got to run down the hands-on driver to beat all race long. We've seen Cam, we've seen Dylan, we've seen a few others cycle to the lead. But Discord Bot is just unbelievable. Just out here. No signs of quitting either. He's been here for a while, but no signs of quitting either. He is the best he has ever been. 13 laps to go here, and SM is moving forward as well. We have two drivers looking for maybe their second win, joining Commander in the 2-win club. He's been pretty quiet today, Commander. Bot's now drifting back in the form.
Yeah, well, second one will be huge for SM particularly, because he's not a guy you would think would have 2 wins. And if things get crazy, we get a bunch of one-race winners, SM would definitely be potentially a guy in threat of losing his playoff spot. And a second win, as we said before, Commander, is just an extra insurance. And also the extra playoff points can help you go a long way in the postseason.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. 2 wins absolutely guarantees your spot no matter what. Because it is mathematically impossible for 16 drivers to get 2 wins before the playoffs. So you get 2 wins, you're in no matter what. So Discord Bot, SM, anyone in the field, even the ones that don't have a win yet, just get that first one, and that second one will be a lot easier. But 2 wins guarantees your spot. Still using the playoff format in NAPA Sim Series, and I mean, it's had its moments, but it has actually been pretty kind in the NAPA Sim Series. Most champions are pretty deserving, but everyone knows the risk. Everyone knows the risk. Anything can happen at any time. So get the insurance while you can. Get that second win, or at least get 1 in, and lock your spot. Because, I mean, we could talk about it real quick. Talk about drivers getting 2 wins, but let's actually talk about that. If more drivers get 2 wins, then it makes the drivers that simply get 1 win, it gives them a much more of a cushion as well, because that is 1 less race where a new driver could win. But pretty much the moral of the story is, just win anyways. It doesn't matter if it's first, second, third time, just go out and win. That's what Discord Bot's been doing, but running that bottom lane, Garrett should have a bit of a run here.
Again, Garrett, many time. Garrett, first looking for his first win of the season. Discord Bot, as I said earlier, I think earlier in the broadcast, this would be the first time he's ever gone back to back in to win 2 races. If he does hold on to win today, tie in pit road, all that damage.
Yeah, he's parking it.
Day.
Parking it, lap 71. They made minimum speed, but seems like that car's just too bent up. They're going to try to repair for future races, but Ty will take his losses. He should be credited with, I think, a 40th place finish. Yeah, once isolated past the lap or so. Tough day for him! Oh, man, oh my goodness. Isolated into the wall. He just needs to get out of the way. He's already leapt down. Just get the job done. Matthew, Data, Payne all up by each other there. Big mess in the back. Back to you, Mac.
Yeah, as we see, let's look here. Wayside has actually made his way up to 3rd. He is charging hard here in these last few laps. I'm pretty sure he was in 9th, and he's all the way at the 3rd, now looking for 2nd on Garrett. Wayside out of nowhere these last few laps, looking to potentially continue the story of these winners of these races this season, having come in the last few laps usually.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it all season long. It was such a trend early in the year for drivers that didn't lead the most laps to win the race. That was such a trend. But then a few times it's happened. Drivers that have led the most laps have won. Discord Bot's the leader. He has definitely led the most laps. He's looking for a win to kind of push that narrative even more. But Garrett, he hasn't led many laps at all. And he is now trying to foil the plans of Discord Bot. Get up to the lead. Only get about 9-10 laps led or so. Steal the win. You never know. We have seen it multiple times this season. Just look back. There are multiple different outcomes of it in so many different ways as well. The way that some drivers have lost races is unbelievable. And with how wide this racetrack is, Garrett could easily pull off a slide jump. We saw him do it on a restart about 30 laps ago. So Garrett, there's a lot of opportunities here. He comes with the run. Might be able to get to the outside, and yes, we'll probably side draft him a little bit here down this back straightaway. Garrett's got a chance to take this lead and dethrone Discord Bot. Into 3 and 4, drives it in. And Garrett now has to play defense. He is on top here in Auto Club, coming to 6 laps to go.
Discord bot back corner there, yeah, well, did not help. And the guy's now scrambling for spots in these last few laps. Now maybe Wayside trying to look to that outside of the 55. Trying to think maybe Discord bot will leave the door open twice. We're gonna see if that happens. I doubt so. He will not make the same mistake twice. Now Garrett in control of this race. No traffic to hell back. So he will make that same mistake twice. Discord bot leaves the gate open for Wayside to sneak in. Can he do it? Yes, he can. He got there, but can he make the pass? Let's see. In the turn off the exit of 4. Yes, he can. He will have the run down the straightaway. And Wayside up to second.
Felt like for a good portion of this race, Wayside's kind of just been right around that 10th to 12th range. And then all of a sudden, that final restart just all of a sudden gets him up here. Now he's up to second with full control here of his own destiny to go chase after Garrett. Remember Phoenix, when Garrett lost in the last few laps to Dan. Garrett does not want it to happen again. And he knows just run the lane that he feels most comfortable in. He might got it here. Who knows with 4 laps to go coming this time. I'm not sure. I mean, we've seen so many drivers today say, oh man, we gotta run the top lane and then run the bottom lane 1 lap and just completely fail everything. So, I'm not sure who's gonna come out on top. We were 4 laps to go, but it looks like it's definitely a 3-way battle. Cam just barely hanging on, and the battle 5th on back. Looks like Dan is just not gonna be able to get it done. The odds-on favorite before this race started just has been up front, but has made a lot of moves looking for the lead, but just hasn't actually been able to capitalize. And in the end, just battling as here comes Discord Bot. He's actually going to take second back from Wayside. Got to his outside. Discord Bot's back in business. 3 laps to go.
They was defending winner here, so it's shocking to see him kind of lay an egg almost, to be unable to lead a lap. And now Discord Bot is going to try and run down that 51 of Garrett. Does he have the time or in the car to do so is the main question. Down the straightaway, I'm not sure he's going to do anything here this time. But as Cam will get by Wayside for P3. Discord Bot now, he is starting to maybe catch that 51 of Garrett. Coming to 2 to go. Can Garrett hold on? Let's see here. Let's see if Discord Bot gains on the straightaway. I think he did gain some. He is gaining some. 2 to go here. Can Garrett hold on?
What a story this would be for Garrett to get that win where he so much wanted it. At Phoenix, couldn't get it done. Dan's out of the picture. Now it's Discord Bot that's going to be the one trying to throw him. Oh, there's a slow car in turn 2. Commander's off the pace. We're going to have to come back to that. Will Commander make it back to his pit stall? Avery left car. Garrett on the bottom. Here comes Discord Bot. Where's this 83 going to go? These two should be able to navigate him. Yeah, Avery will give them the top. They should both clear before turn 1. I don't see the 83 being an issue. But Discord Bot is on that top lane. Wide flag to go. Discord Bot's going for back-to-back.
Let's see if he's got it here. That maybe that Avery kind of appears of Avery.
He's in the
wall just a little bit. Let's see here. Huge run and it's off the edge of the 2. Here we go down the back straightaway. They're side by side. Discord Bot, huge run. He might have it here. Garrett is gonna maybe try to go for a sit on the inside here in turn 3 and 4.
Wow.
He's got nothing.
No Hail Mary for Garrett. Off turn 4. Add another track to the list of wins for Discord Bot. Discord Bot wins in Southern California. Gets it done in Auto Club. Back-to-back winners. Back-to-back wins. My mistake for Discord Bot. Unbelievable last lap pass. That will give Discord Bot the notch here at Auto Club. And Garrett, for the second time in just a few races, will give it away in the last few laps. And Discord Bot will absolutely solidify his spot as a postseason contender. Unbelievable. Wayside coming up there, giving him a little bit of a tap. Congratulations. And now Discord Bot will get to celebrate. What a job for him. Unbelievable. What a start to the year for Discord bot, just absolutely taking over here. What a dominant West Coast stretch for Discord bot. As there's Commander. He's going to be credited with a DNF in 39th. Not sure what went wrong for him. But Discord bot gets it done. Let's take a look at the finishing results. Discord bot will come home on top with a last lap pass on Garrett. I'm sure Garrett's just gotta be thinking, what do I gotta do differently to get the first win of the year? But it's gonna be coming for him, no doubt about it. Cam comes home third, just a rocket ship all day. Wayside fourth, Dan fifth, Dylan comes home sixth, SM Kermit out of nowhere. Kermit comes home with the top 10. And typical and Anikate as well. Two drivers that are kind of around that area all race long. Great runs for them. Chasey Man comes out to 11th out of nowhere. Great run for him. Internet faded back slightly to 12th. Few other drivers like I'm and Antuin or Mythical kind of faded in that second half of the race. Drivers like Mike and Matthew had some good days. FXN back in 22nd. Not the greatest run, but I think he will turn it up soon. I won't be surprised. Montana as well had a good run, but fell back to 25th in the later stages. Just some drivers that had great runs early, but I think their cars just caught up to them a little bit in the long haul. And then the second half of the grid, of course, drivers that were involved in the wrecks like Slash, Doug, Cole, some drivers back there that were just fighting the race cars all race long. And of course, other drivers like Commander, he will finish 39th with a DNF. Came over the radio saying that his engine gave out with only a few laps left in what would have been a surefire top 10. Though Commander's got 2 wins on the year, nothing to worry about, but still not great in terms of his chances to win the regular season early on here in the season. Still a long way to go, though, for him. And Ty, Riley Davis Jr., and Nacho were the other three DNFs, all caught up in accidents. Ty parked it a little bit later. A pretty destructive weekend, but in the end, not many retirements, but still one of those races where you're gonna be looking back on, just wondering what could I have done differently to possibly put yourself in a better position. Because this was definitely one of those races where you could capitalize. But here at Auto Club, Discarbot will get it done. Mac, we now head to you here for the final time. 80 laps complete at Auto Club. The Auto Club weekend is complete. How do you feel after a crazy weekend of racing?
Man, I mean, we saw, I think for the first time ever this season, the drivers winning the most laps won both races, which is a shock. But it came in wild forms, which was the most shocking thing.
Yeah, we saw Bug win with a huge crash behind him in Xfinity and in Cup. The last lap pass, Discord Bug gets it done. Very similar to last season in Cup where we had a last lap pass. I know the way it happened was slightly different, but still insane racing. Auto Club has been a spectacle here in the NAPA Sim series. But that will do it for myself, Dylan, and we also got Mac here in the booth. And then after Auto Club, we have an off week. We will see Xfinity and Cup head to Japan for what is going to be a wild race. A lot of new sponsors, a lot of even new drivers might be coming on in certain series. It's going to be a good one, but we'll be there soon. The West Coast stretch has been completed. Discord bot, what a great West Coast stretch for him. Back-to-back wins. But that will do it here at Auto Club. Thank you guys all for watching, and we will see you guys next time.